Hi everybody, you are watching Tutorials. My name is Alex and today we're gonna create this letter in Gravit Designer, and it's not a simple letter, it's a love letter that received Onegin from Tatiana. So guys, let's dig inside Gravit Designer and create this love letter. And I'm gonna start as always from the new document, Alt N or Option N on your Mac. I'm gonna size it with a block cover. First thing first, let's first, I have already created this up icon for the design model website, so you can read this tutorial as well in the near future. And let me grab all this design and paste it here so I can reference from this design, of course. And as always guys, I'm gonna explain you how to create the shadows, but I cannot follow along this step because I have a Windows 7. Gravit has a lot of bugs with the effects in Windows 7 machines. So let's start with the rectangle and cover all entire artboard. I'm gonna apply the gradient for this rectangle, and I believe I have this gradient already or not. All we need to do is to add the swatch. So for this rectangle, I'm gonna apply the gradient top to bottom. On top we have this C65CBB. B8, sorry, and for the bottom we have 3F2595 in hexadecimal value, and I'm gonna apply it right now. So I'm gonna go to liner gradient and apply this background. So lock my background here and start with the rectangle. I'm gonna size it with 260 pixels on 170 pixels. So 260 pixels width and 170 pixels height. The last step, like so. And this would be a back side of our envelope. So for this back side of our envelope, I'm gonna create, again, I'm gonna add it to swatches. I'm gonna create this wonderful gradient from the top to the bottom. It's gonna be FD on top, FD C5 F5. Notice that position is around the 30% from the right, and on the left I have 8B 7D C3, and I'm gonna apply it right now as well, liner gradient, and apply the same pattern. So we have our back side, and let's create some flowers here. And I'm gonna start with the bottom flop. We need to grab a triangle tool and draw a triangle. And the width of this rectangle should be 170 pixels. That I believe, no. Sorry, 260 pixels, of course, because this width should be the same as the width of my backside. So 260 pixels. I'm gonna link between width and height and set it to 200. Nice. Now we need to convert it to path in order to gain the control over this top anchor point. You can do this with the modify path, convert to path, or you can use Ctrl+Shift+P, Command+Shift+P on your Mac. I'm gonna grab a subselect tool, and first of all, holding Shift key, select these 2 points on the sides, and hit Delete key to delete these points. Now with the top point, I'm gonna move it and reduce my height to around 90 pixels. Guys, this is my height. Then we need to create a side flaps. And in order to do that, let's create another rectangle. And this rectangle should, another triangle. And this rectangle should be with 170 pixels width. So let's create. I'm holding Shift to place it right in the straight line, right on one side. Okay. Brilliant. I'm gonna set 170 pixels and then continue to hold Shift, and I'm gonna rotate it like so and place it here. So it's gonna be our side flop, and then I'm gonna hold Control and use my down arrow key to move it behind the bottom flap. And then let's create a duplicate with Ctrl Shift D with the clone command. You can find it here. Edit clone. And with our duplicate, let's flip it horizontally like so and move it to the right side of our back. Looks very nice. Now let's apply the gradient. So for this wonderful bottom flop, I have this gradient. I have FF, D5, F9 on there. I believe it should be bottom. And on the top I have C3, 3C80. And for this sides, we need to apply another gradient. So let me find this gradient. Oh, I believe I don't have it. So for this, we need to arrange this gradient like so. Guys, the darkest color on the sides should be where they overlapping with the bottom flap. Okay, so it's kind of bottom flap casting the shadow. Then we create a real shadow, but now it's gonna be like a shadow with the gradient, yes? And the same here, but I believe I can simply add the swatch and then apply the swatch to my to this flap as well. Now I should gain the control over this anchor point on the left and then hide this anchor point, move it to the right inside the middle. So let's do this. Ctrl Shift P, Command Shift P to convert path. Grab your subselect tool, delete these two side anchor points with the delete key, and then move it right to this side, right here. And do the same here, or you can simply delete it and then rotate. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Delete and then rotate. Brilliant. Okay, guys, then our next step is to create this cover. And this requires another rectangle, so grab this rectangle as well, triangle as well, and of course this triangle should be 260 pixels width, should have 260 pixel width. Again, I believe we can duplicate our bottom flap holding Alt and Shift, Shift because we need to move to the straight line. And then I'm gonna a bit increase the height, like so, and apply another gradient. I believe we don't need this color. I want to desaturate this pinkish color. I wanna move it like so. This looks fine. Then we need to create a letter. And for letter, a simple rectangle with a 200 pixel width and 230 pixel height. So for this rectangle, we need to apply the gradient. So okay, let's move it again with the Control and arrow bottom key. Let's move it here, and then I'm gonna grab also this top color and move it on the bottom of my layer stack. So this is behind my letter. So this path is lose the vibrancy. So what I advise to you is to grab all the three flaps, navigate to the color adjust and increase the saturation. And as you can see, it looks very ugly. I cannot do anything with that. And then also I encourage you to use the drop shadow. And for the drop shadow that I create for initial design, for this bottom flap, I set drop shadow. Again, you can see these drop shadows on the Windows 7 machine. Guys, don't use the Windows 7 machine when you create a design in Gravit Designer. And we need to set the drop shadow X value to 0, Y value to -4, blur value to 6, and opacity to 14%. Something like so. I believe you have truly wonderful shadows. And then we need to also apply drop shadow for these side flaps. And for these flaps I have 0, 0 and blur value to 6, 6, and opacity value reduce it to 35%. Guys, this is basically the end of this tutorial. I believe you have a truly wonderful drop shadow. Again, play with the values. I think more saturated colors, more vibrant colors on the sides. And this is basically the end. And if you want to see how I apply this effect, you can go to my site tutorials.net, and I have a newsletter. I want to thank Flavia for this great idea. So guys, subscribe to my weekly newsletter, join Gravit Designer tutorials group, join Gravit Designer user groups. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.